The Detroit Lions have been on top of the power rankings for the last 4 weeks, and with the Kansas City Chiefs loss in Week 11, we are the number one team in the NFL. And while we haven't won it all yet, and if you ask Dan Campbell, we haven't done anything yet, we got to finish the job. It's hard not to give the Detroit Lions respect. Now, I saw a video a couple of days ago. I wanted to talk about it, just now getting around to it, and it's Tony Dungy and Mike Florio. Now, I didn't know that Tony Dungy was an actual Lions fan, but I saw some things and I wanted to kind of dissect this video that I had seen of them. Here's what they had to say about who the Detroit Lions shouldn't want to face in the playoffs. And I think that this is hilarious. You may or may not be seeing it on the thumbnail. But before that, let's take a listen to what they have to say about the Detroit Lions possibly being the best team in the National Football League.
And then there's the other conference, which has been jumbled up in recent years. And for the first time in 90 years, it sounds like a joke when you say it, like an exaggeration. Oh, it's been 90 years. It's been 90 years for the Lions to be 9-1. And the Lions are clearly the best team, although the Eagles might have something to say about that by the time it's all said and done. But right now, the Lions are running roughshod over people, 52-6 win, the biggest win in franchise history. I mean, we kind of saw that this was coming when they lost, though, when they blew the lead to the 49ers, 17 points in the second half of the NFC Championship. It could have gone either way. Either you dig deep and push yourself to a high level of performance, or it just shatters you. And I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. It's clearly gone the way of the Lions, just becoming better than they've ever been. And right now, in my opinion, the best team in the NFL, and there may be a gap between them and number two.
Well, I'm not going to go that far, Mike. I'm a big Lions fan. I grew up in the Detroit area. You're right. I was 2 years old the last time the Lions won a championship. I'm embarrassed to tell you how old I am now, but it's been a long time. They're playing good football. I credit Dan Campbell for giving that confidence, that attitude. They feel like they're a good team. But let's look at this. They've got one loss. Minnesota's got 2 losses. Philadelphia's got 2 losses. We were in Houston when Detroit was down 3 scores. Could have easily lost that game. Okay, Minnesota played them, and Minnesota had the ball, and all they had to do is make 1 first down, the game's over, and Minnesota would win that game. Minnesota didn't make the first down. Detroit scored. So they're 9-1. But again, this is not a team without flaws, and this is not a team that Philadelphia can say, oh, we can't beat them. Minnesota is not going to say we can't beat them. So I like where they are. I love the attitude on the Lions team, but they're not going to have a cakewalk either.
Now, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Coach Dungy because nobody was talking about cakewalks. And first of all, you're a Lions fan, right? Secondly, we are the best team in the NFL. And you said we easily could have lost the Texan game, but we won. That's what good teams do. They find a way to win. We could have lost the Minnesota Vikings game, but we won. That's what good teams do. They find ways to win. So I'm a little disappointed at Coach Dungy. And I'm thinking now that there has to be some type of narrative, some type of, you know what, we got to keep things interesting, because if people start getting on the bandwagon, if people start praising the Detroit Lions too much, you won't have anybody on the other side to say anything negative about the Lions. So I'm disappointed in that. That's what good teams do. I don't really hear them talking about who the other teams may or may not have beaten. You talk about Lamar Jackson being MVP, Patrick Mahomes, the way they were winning games, and they were getting the benefit of the doubt because they're the 2-time Super Bowl champions. So I guess they've earned that, right? So I'm a little disappointed in Coach Dungy. Guys, that's what good teams do. They find a way to win. If you're beating good teams, if you're throttling bad teams, and you're beating good teams, that's what good teams do. That's what elite teams do. You know what good teams don't have? Trap games. They don't. Trap games. The Detroit Lions, there is no trap game on the Detroit Lions schedule. A trap game indicates that you are not prepared. You're taking your opponent lightly. You're not prepared for your opponent. That's not what our Detroit Lions are doing. So kind of disappointed in that. Didn't even know he was a Lions fan until probably about a week ago. I should have known that, but I didn't know. It's kind of crazy. I know before we had a GM, before we hired Brad Holmes, I was talking about making him the general manager when I thought he might be interested. But they started talking about somebody that we might not want to face in the playoffs. And I'm like, really? Let's hear what they have to say.
And the more that you say that, I'm reminded of something that I've been saying recently as it relates to the Lions. Anytime you're the number one seed, if that's what the Lions ultimately earn, you don't want teams from your division coming in during the playoffs, especially in the division round, because they're not intimidated. They know you, they play you, and they'd love nothing more. Even if they don't get close to the Super Bowl, they'd love nothing more than to derail your special season where you're the team of destiny. And on top of the Packers and Vikings, and in a roundabout way, the Bears, they're not dead yet, and they get a chance to go in next Thursday and play them on Thanksgiving. The one team I wouldn't want to get to the playoffs if I was the Lions is the Rams. I don't want the Rams winning the NFC West. I don't want Matthew Stafford coming back again. He almost got him last year in the playoffs. He almost got him in week 1. I don't want third time to be a charm for Matthew Stafford.
Well, and there are several teams like that. And that's where Detroit is. You mentioned the division teams that play each other. They know how to play you. They're not intimidated. They're not afraid. Green Bay has played good games against Detroit. Minnesota's played good games.
Can they not have the copywritten audio, please?
Confident, but I'm still not feeling like, hey, I'm the dominant team in the division. I've got to play Lions football. We got to gut things out week in and week out. And it's going to be a nice race in the NFC as well.
I still laugh when I see that graphic and the Panthers are listed in the hunt at 3-7. That's a heck of a hunt for the Panthers to come out of that. Hi, it's Mike.
So you're saying that you don't want Matthew Stafford to come in to the Detroit Lions for a third time to Ford Field. He's referring to the first playoff game last year when they were the 7th seed. They were the 6th seed. We were the 3rd seed. He's talking about the opening game of the season. And both times, man, it went down to the wire. It did. Won by 1 point in the playoff game. We won by a field goal, we won by 6 points, but we went into overtime. I was at both of those games, and I saw 2 different kickers basically win us the game. You had Michael Badgley, who hit a 54-yarder, and then you had Jake Bates, who was able to send that game to overtime, where we got the ball and we scored. I'm not worried about Matthew Stafford. I'm not worried about, yes, you're going to have Puka Nacua, but this whole notion that we don't want to see him. First of all, we've already beat him twice in essentially the same 12-month calendar year. I find it hard to believe that the Detroit Lions are going to you're talking about a game, they're going to let Matthew Stafford come in there on, notice Mike said, a special season, and he's the one that derails us. That's not going to happen. Ford Field was loud in that wild card playoff game. It's going to be unbearably loud in this year's playoffs. So overall, disappointed in Dungy for that, and Mike. I mean, you know what? He's saying that because he's a Minnesota Vikings fan. He doesn't want anything nice for the Detroit Lions. I don't blame him. They've never won a Super Bowl. They're not as special as we are, and he knows that. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of Dungy and Florio's thoughts? Wanted to tell you guys that the giveaway video will be coming out tomorrow at 7:45. I believe it's 7:45. I already know who the winners are. Should be an interesting time. It's going to premiere so you guys can have a discussion in the chat. I'll probably be listening because I will be going to Indianapolis. I was contacted by the gentleman, the subscriber, who, like I told you, was just an oversight, super busy, got caught up doing other things. But he contacted me this morning and said we could still hook up tomorrow, and I'll hopefully get my ticket later today, just in case I can't meet up with them before the game. But I will be going to the Colts game tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. Let me know if you guys want a post-game show. Maybe I'll put up a community post. I don't know who's playing tonight or tomorrow night. Ravens and Chargers. Because it's a 4-hour and 14-minute drive. Game is at 1 o'clock. it's over, might be at the stadium. So realistically, we probably won't do one. Maybe we'll do one the next day. I don't know. But I will be going live walking from the stadium, and I'll try to go live during the fourth quarter. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it. And for the making of this video, we are less than 75 subscribers away from 26K, where there will be another giveaway announcement. So anyway, I'm not going to do the housekeeping stuff today. I really don't feel like it. I did not sleep last night. I'm pretty tired. Got a couple videos to make and got to get ready for tomorrow. So you guys know what to do. It's in the banner. It's the pinned comment. You know what's up. You see the little product thing. You know what's up, man. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. If you're going to be down there tomorrow, let me know. Let me know. And maybe we can link up. And I will try to say hi to every single person that's there. I will go out of my way to meet every last one of you if we have time. I did it at Ford Field. I'll do it, get a bunch of steps in, and I'll try to meet each and every one of you guys. All right? So I'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget, tune in for the giveaway video.